He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the ropes. You have got to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. Hey guys, Andrew Brown, the voice of IA Baseball, here with something. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome one and welcome all inside another edition as we look at High and Tight, and we get the chance to talk baseball across the state, from high school, college, professional, it doesn't matter. We cover it and we have a lot of fun doing it. And speaking about a lot of fun, we every year are blessed to be a part of a great event called Strike Out the Stigma that really goes above and beyond and helps to honestly impact one of the biggest factors of our lives, let alone the game of baseball, the mental side of things and beyond. And Strike Out the Stigma does a phenomenal job at helping all of that, and really to help with resources and more for anybody who might be struggling or just needs a little bit of help and beyond. And plus, it's always good to remind ourselves just how important mental health is, and of course, everything that involves with your health as well. So again, we get the chance to have a lot of fun with that, but we're here to talk about not just how fun it is, but we're going to talk about the details of the 2025 edition of Strike Out the Stigma, which again, you'll find us there, broadcasting a few of the games, and of course, a lot of fun that goes in with that. So, of course, as we go through, we can't go without talking to some of the people who make this possible. Without their hard work, it would not go anywhere. It would not be where it is today. One of those people I have joining me here on the hotline, Niki Frese, who's helped to make this such a big deal, and not just a big deal in Iowa, but known nationally as well. You can see that by all the great people that they bring in to talk, guests, and more. And of course, she is one of the many who spearheads this, and she's joining me right now on the hotline. And Niki, thanks for taking the time to join us here, because I know that this is not only just your time. You're busy. You have your own stuff going on, but you're getting the Strike Out the Stigma event all taken care of. And so to take out just a few minutes of your time during the day, I really appreciate that, to be able to talk about this.
Well, we appreciate you having us on and giving us an opportunity to share about the event, and your support. The last 4 years we're going on, this will be the 4th year now. So we're excited. It's grown each year from one game, one baseball and one softball game at Prairie 4 years ago. And now we're looking at 16 teams each year since then. So
Wow.
We appreciate you and your ability to be there and share with us too.
And it means a lot, because so much of what you see about motivational speakers, or you see just big time athletes talk about, and especially nowadays, is the mental side of the game, how it has impacted things so severely for one athlete, or has been a huge influence positively for another. And for the longest time, it was almost looked at as, at least in my circles, as taboo to talk about mental health. Yet I feel like that has shifted just a bit. You have been a very big advocate for that. You have always stood out and above, and you know what it's like to be a part of the baseball and softball worlds. What it's been like, the demands that professional game has, and college game has, and high school game has. And ultimately, I wanted to ask, before we get any further, where you feel the needle is on where we're talking about with mental health. I mean, we talk about it a whole lot, but I got to ask, from someone like you, who's been in the weeds doing this a whole lot more, do you feel like, one, the needle has pushed towards more positive conversation, and how much work do we need to do yet to get to a place where we'd be more comfortable?
You're right. I do. That's exactly kind of why 4 years ago we came up with Strike Out the Stigma. Um, my husband has actually played professional ball for about 9 years, and it was 20 years ago when you couldn't talk about mental health. You couldn't let the club know that you maybe were struggling or something like that. Um, he was getting close to retirement and was really struggling with the feelings that come with retirement and letting down his community and that kind of thing. And so he was lined up with a sports psychologist, but it was something that we had to keep on the down low. But it's grown, or it's gotten so much better. And the club he was with at the time has now become one of the leaders in sports mental health, and has brought on a mental health coach and was one of the first ones to do so. Um, and so that kind of, you know, brought the idea to the forefront. And then I also have a son. I have a few kids that also play baseball and that kind of thing. And we were in Florida. They were about 15 years old, and we had met with a Boston Red Sox minor league player, and he was out teaching the boys how to fish in the Florida waters. But I listened to his conversation, and he was a big mental health advocate. And one of the things he said to the boys was, you have a hitting coach, you have a pitching coach, you have an infield instructor. Why would you not have a mental health coach? And that again just spawned my, like, how can we bring that idea and that concept, just changing that name and getting rid of that stigma, to allow these athletes, to be able to have those conversations, or us parents to be able, you can ask about if you have a great doctor or something like that, but people are afraid to say, do you have a therapist that or somebody that you would recommend? And so that's kind of where the idea came from, and just getting those resources into families' hands, or being able to have those conversations about that. So,
And that is so important in the grand scheme. I think that even though we talk about it now and the importance of it, I think it's still, the gravity of it is still looms so large. There is a lot of important things to it. But one of the things that really makes a difference here is, again, events like these. And I want to first talk on. You have several, not only just within your organization, but other outside entities. Always there are always a few that really help out, and I want to make sure we get them highlighted as well. And I got to say, I have met some amazing people that have been a part of this and that have been helped out, from mental health coaches. Again, the last 2 years, talking to several just on the broadcast when we're doing these events live, just talking through, and the conversations just from professionals who know how to talk. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about those who know how to talk and get to deeper roots and really make a huge difference, far more than I do. And the conversations are just so effortless with them. So I think that too, for those who are ever looking at, man, is this, I don't know how to talk to somebody. I don't know how to do any of those conversations. Niki, a lot of these people that you have brought in, that you have talked with, even Ben Zobrist from last year,
mm-hmm.
the way that they interact and talk about mental health and the effects it has, both positive and negative, it just is an effortless conversation. And I know that's what you guys pride yourselves on, and is getting those people to the forefront as well. But everybody you bring in, it really, I don't want to I don't want to undersell this, certainly, Niki, but it's a huge impact. The people that come in there, and it really takes away it again. Strike out the stigma, getting rid of all the stigma, including, talking to a shrink. It's not that anymore. It's talking to professionals to help you.
Yes, exactly. And our theme this year, we've really kind of taken on, caring for your mind is caring for your body, or caring for your body is caring for your mind. They're
Yeah.
two in one, and really kind of a lot of moving forward, they're really kind of going towards brain health terminology as well. We have one of our resources coming as Brain Health Now, to try to help get rid of that stigma as well, because if you need to care for your brain in order for your body to function at its full capacity, whether you're an athlete or a parent, a grandparent, that kind of thing, you have to take care of your mind in order to take care of your body. So that's really kind of one of our themes we've gone with this year. This year we have Gabe Rummel with Athletes Health is going to be our speaker. He is from the area, and we're really excited to have him. He's been working with high schools and different athletes already. So I think we're excited about what he has to offer with practical applications that athletes and fans can walk away with. Like you mentioned, we had Ben Zobrist in the past. We've had Austin Byler has came 2 years. He's from Arizona and a former MLB player as well. So we're excited about that opportunity. And that's open to everybody, not only the athletes. That's open. That starts at 5:15, and so everybody's welcome to come to that. We'll have our resource area open at 4:00, where we have about 30 resources, which
Yep.
is really what we're excited about. I remember being invited to an event. It was a great event, and actually, Mike Farr with Project Safe, who we've partnered with this, was putting it on. And I remember thinking, I really want to go to that event. I want to visit with some of those resources. I think our family could benefit, but what are people going to say of me when I get there? What's wrong with your family? That kind of thing. And so this is why we tied in the resources into the baseball games, is I didn't want other people to feel that way. I want them to be able to access resources, find one spot. We've really tried to grow our website into every resource that we've ever had at our event has a spot on our website with their contact information. So if you're not sure, your family is struggling with something, whether it be depression, anxiety, eating disorders, alcoholism, that kind of thing, we've created a website that has a lot of any resource that has attended any of our events. Their contact info is on there. But I really wanted that to be something that people could visit, and we really make it a fun event. It's sociable, that kind of thing, but they can still get those resources and get that information to take home with them, whether it be you're an athlete or you're a parent or a fan kind of thing.
And I think too, Nikki, it's one of those that I the stigma I believe is being is hopefully again struck out completely. But the way that the feel of these events are, it truly is. It all stigma is out, and if anybody to come out and check it out, it truly is fun, and you get to watch some baseball and softball too. And one of the things that you had mentioned, the teams keep on growing and growing and growing. And I know you've gotten calls about, can we get more teams and more teams and more?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end, that's something that whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, coach, umpire, it doesn't matter. There's always there's always we're all in the same boat in terms of loving the game of softball and baseball and what we can do. And I absolutely love that. There is no stigma surrounded. There is no worry. There is nothing. Come out there, be a part of the event, and or enjoy the event because
Yep.
there's a lot of good things. And plus, I think really, gosh, I have not met a single athlete here, Nikki, that has been like, yeah, it was an okay event. Getting to play in that, because getting to play, and also it's kind of that unofficial kickoff to the season.
Yep.
And so I think one, when it's located, absolutely phenomenal. It has multiple purposes, but again, the biggest part is obviously is to make sure that mental health there. But I think it organically intertwines everything, and that you're not all of a sudden just put out there in the middle of December trying to make something of it. I think you guys did a really good job in strategizing when and where to kind of place this. And by the way, at a perfect venue.
Yes, Prospect Meadows has been a great partner with this event. We couldn't ask for better partners. Anything that we need, they're always there. And it's a fun kickoff to the season. It's exciting to see, what the teams are going to look like. Like you mentioned, we have a waiting list. We have schools coming from as far as this year, Davenport Assumption is new, West Delaware. So we have some new teams coming in, and it's always hard to try to make room for new teams and tell
Yep.
people no and that kind of thing. But we we want to try to get as many people involved as we can, but without making it last year we did do almost a 4-day event, and this year we have consolidated it down to one event, but I think it'll still be a really great event, all
Yeah.
kind of in one spot. We have our speaker on the same night, and the scrimmages are on the same night as well. And we've been lucky with volunteer umpires, the volunteers. We appreciate everybody. We have a great committee of about a dozen people that kind of put this on, and it's parents that just care about their kids' mental health. You know, when this kind of got started, it was post COVID, and, you know, we'd talk about mental health, and I'd hear, you know, so-and-so's not going out for track because of his anxiety and this kind of thing. And so again, that just kind of, we all kind of brainstorm, what can we do to try to help and get resources out there for athletes and students and families.
Yeah, and man, as we talk about the event itself again, too, all the resources like Niki mentioned are there, and again, it's within a nice, easy, obtainable place to go ahead and get all this, get that information, get what you need, and again, with people that are there, it just makes it effortless, easy, and there really is no thought process other than getting you better, improving. And I think,
Yeah.
Niki, too, is you had mentioned last year too, you know, mental health is for everyone, not just at someone who's going through chaotic circumstances. I think you brought up a good point is
Yeah.
your mental health, whether you think it or not, is okay to improve. You know, if you feel it's at a good state, there's always room to improve. Just like athletes are always looking to improve, try and get better there. And again, going back to whether you have a mental health coach, which again I advise wholeheartedly. But I really liked your comments, and you've been consistent with them about even though you might feel okay, it's still worth it to just have a conversation at the very least.
Yep. Yep. For sure. Yeah.
And then with that as well, I wanted to dive into as I'll bring up. I got here what, again, this, ladies and gentlemen, you can go ahead and catch up on the social media sites. It's right there, right when you go to Twitter, for example, or X. I don't know how to call it anymore here, Niki. I think X or Twitter works, but
Agree.
it's this is again, it's all laid out there, perfect, crystal clear. Again, as Niki mentioned, really starting at 4 and then going through again with a great speaker. And I wanted to one we're going to try and connect with these speakers here. But again, Niki, I think everybody on the committee did a great job knocking it out of the park with somebody who's, as you mentioned, can take actionable steps that help you improve, not just talk. There, even though it is a lot of talk, there's actionable steps. And of course, again, if you get the chance, come out and join the speaker, Gabe. I really want to talk on him just a little bit from the athlete's health. He has been obviously a big advocate as well. Obviously, he is here for that reason. But again, kind of talk through a little bit of the connection with him and how Gabe and what kind of Gabe brings to the table here.
Well, Gabe actually is a Prairie graduate, and he attended our event last year as a resource in the
Yeah.
resource area. And he has began and had started the athlete's health. He'll give an overview on the importance of an approach to mental health in sports. Well, again, with those practical applications to walk away with. I know he's been doing some one-on-one coaching. He also works with several high schools in the area as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're excited to hear what he has to say this year. And I think it's somebody who these athletes will connect with. He's not too far out of their, age range either. So just that more similar experiences that he has
Yeah.
been through, I think will help him connect with the athletes as well. So
Yeah.
we're
I
excited.
gotta say that connection piece, Niki. I
Yeah.
think you guys have hit it out of the park every single time. I whether it be Blythe, whether it be Zobrist, again, whether it be Gabe. I mean, truly, these guys, and I did want to touch with you on that connection piece, how important that is. I mean, in the end, it's one thing to have somebody come that you have never really seen before, you've never seen in action, but all these guys, they live it, they breathe it, they prove it, and they work in it, or because of the work that has been done, they've been successful. But again, it's not somebody that's just coming off the street that just happened to get a TEDx talk. I mean,
Yeah.
the connection piece, I think, again, knocking out of the park, is I think bigger than people really think.
Right. Yeah. So I think, connecting with our speaker and who we have there, and connecting the other piece that we have is several of the schools that are participating.
Mm-hmm.
They each have their own, maybe green bandana project or that kind of thing. So their
Yep.
groups are coming as well, and they'll be set up doing mindfulness activities in our resource area to also kind of give that piece of um, those tangible things that you can do maybe when the stress is high or things like that. um, but back to connection, I think it's important too for the coaches and our adults that work with our youth, that understanding that connection is important and that relationship is important as well. And sometimes that might be the relationship that sticks, and they might
Mm-hmm.
have the most impact on an athlete. And so, we also want to encourage, the coaches to
Yes.
really pay attention to, the speakers and that kind of thing. We've provided over throughout the years, we've provided some other trainings as an opportunity, just to help build that coach athlete relationship too.
Yeah, and it goes a long way. Again, big shout out to all those coaches who really
Yeah.
are a big part of that, intertwined in that,
Yeah.
certainly. And I did want to, before we go further, again, you one of the questions I had, and you briefly mentioned the Green Bandana Project, something that it gets to the root of, for me anyway, looks like a more personable way to
Mhm.
interact, especially, and make a difference here. Can you just highlight that a little bit of what that is, and kind of how that came to be?
Yeah, so we partnered with the Green Bandana Project at Prairie first, and the Green Bandana Project is a student-run organization that are trained in uh, helping peers, a
Yep.
peer support group type thing. And I know I don't have the names off the top of my head, but several of the other schools have similar group project names or group names that do the
Hmm.
same thing. So they're peer trained, to help with peer interactions and that kind of thing. And so they'll be leading our mindfulness activities that night as
Yep.
well. And that's really kind of grown. I've seen more and more schools adding those groups in these last 5 years. So that's exciting to see.
Yeah. And again, those mindfulness activities right out of the gate, 4 p.m. Really, really, again, you touched up on it, Nikki. Very important. There's the importance level cannot be understated. I think in the grand, or overstated, I should say, in the grand scheme of things. And then, of course, 5:15, the speaker does, Gabe comes in. Gets the chance to speak, and again, that connection piece really big, and I'll bring it up here again. And then, of course, 6:15 games begin, both softball and baseball. And again, as you see, the list is still booked, and absolutely love that. We'll have a couple of those games anyway, a chance to get out there. But again, Nikki, if someone wants to join in, help out, what's the route that they can take? Either, I mean, I know that several would love to connect on their own type of thing, like the Green Bandana Project. But in terms of Strike Out the Stigma, how do they get connected? What can they do? Where do you need the most help here?
We do have some spots open for volunteers still for that night. We are pretty active on social media, so you can follow us on social media.
Hmm.
Or if you go out to strikeoutthestigmaiowa.com, that's our website. And
Yep.
again, that's really going to be one thing that we focus on this year, and continuing moving forward is keeping all those resources on there. There is a contact us form on there, so you can always reach out that way. Um, but we just really wanted to have a central location, so somebody might reach out and say, hey, I was at that Strike Out the Stigma. I remember visiting a booth, but I don't remember what it was.
Hmm.
If you go to our website, you can find it on there. Same thing if we've had different people, send a text like, hey, I'm looking for this. You can send them that direction, mostly Eastern Iowa, but some nationwide connections on there as well. So
Yeah. And those connections will go a very, very long way. And again, whether it is something little, something big, there's always something there. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to get your own green bandana project going. Certainly, again, we've had a couple people on, whether it be from the Bandana Project and beyond, that Niki has been gracious enough to get us in contact with. So we've had a lot of great conversation on there. So make sure to check everything that they do out. And of course, Niki, as we go through here, strikeoutthestigma.com, again, as you mentioned, where they can go through. And then
strikeoutthestigmaiowa.com, just so you know.
Iowa.com. I should
Yep.
say that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
Strikeoutthestigmaiowa.com. You don't want to go, don't
Nope.
go anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But Strike Out the Stigma, Iowa, where you can go. Anything else, Niki, that we haven't touched up on? Again, it's going to be a packed filled night. I mean, you get there, all those activities. And again, as you can see right on the screen, it's not limited to one thing. You guys really have done a good job, it seems, is finding everything that could actually fit somebody walking down the street. And that, I think that's really impactful. 5:15 speaker, 6:15 games begin. Anything else that we may not have touched on here?
I don't think so. May 12th is the date. The rain out date will be the Tuesday, but we hope to see you there. And again, the doors open at 4. So, come visit the resource area and be there for the speaker. It should be a good time. And just pray the rain stays away.
Hey, I'll do my reverse rain dance for you. I'll do whatever I can, make it happen. Uh, as much as a dry night as we can have, that's what we'll work for. But Niki, I can't wait to have more conversations on this. Again, we will, ladies and gentlemen, we'll catch up with the speakers, including others who have been very influential in this as well. And so again, we'll make sure to repost it up there. Check out Strike Out the Stigma Iowa on social media, wherever you can get it. And of course, get involved there. And of course, Niki, there's always wherever people can donate, whether it not just time, but other places as well, other things, always accepted. And I just want to say thank you for doing this, because this is something that I think that it's just a lot of bravery to be able to do, and someone who knows the game as well as you do is someone to lead the charge. So thanks again, not just to you, but your entire team who makes this possible.
Thank you, Andrew. We appreciate all your support and being there. It means a lot.
Well, hey, we can't wait to be there. I know that we got to wait, but we'll get there nonetheless. And ladies and gentlemen, again, check that out as soon as you get the chance. And again, please thank Niki and everybody who has made this possible. Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap up our time right here. Again, make sure to check out Strike Out the Stigma Iowa. Again, we'll put that up on the screen here. Strike Out the Stigma Iowa right there for you. Make sure to check it out. Re-look at this. Again, this is always up on our IA Sports YouTube page. You can go ahead and check it out there. Hit the QR code there as well. Go ahead. Again, wherever Strike Out the Stigma is, you'll be able to find whether it's QR code, whether it's the website. And, of course, anybody is willing. Please get out there, have a conversation, talk about it. You're not alone. Niki and company make sure that you know that as you go throughout the event. All right. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. I will say sayonara. We will have more from Strike Out the Stigma as we go throughout the week. So don't go anywhere. But until then, and until we see each other next time, stay safe on the base paths. Thanks, guys.